Alrighty, walking home again. The Great Socialization continues. Yes. Okay. Disclaimer before I go into this. It's going to be pretty biased. I'm going to be speaking pretty much from a heterosexual guy's point of view because, well, that's kind of the reason why I decided to evolve as a social person. So, you know, if you're a homosexual guy or homosexual woman or heterosexual woman, you know, keep in mind that I'm going to be a little bit biased. And I'm going to be splitting off my videos into two little categories. This first video is going to be like, you know, a theory, stuff you should think about. And another video is just going to be on stuff you should practice, stuff you should go out and do, techniques, okay? So what do I want to talk about right now as like 8 million cars drive by me? Good God. I wonder if anyone will honk at me for doing video. That is, yeah. You can't ask me to do that. It's 35 outside. Yeah, no way in hell I'm going to be running with shorts on, like, especially short ones like that. Anyways, sorry about that, got a tad bit distracted. So, one of the most important things you got to develop mentally when breaking through painful shyness, social anxiety, whatever the hell you want to call it, is an open mind. You gotta have an open mind about stuff. You can't be judging stuff because of stuff you hear. You can't be a victim of a thing they call social conditioning. Like, for example, when I was growing up, you know, I idealized a lot in what I wanted in a girlfriend / wife / whatever. You know, I was like, oh, you know, I think she has to be, you know, 1 to 2 years older or younger than I am, you know, and she needs to be like from this background and has to be from this race and so on and so forth. That really defeats the purpose of you being a worldly individual, and it kind of makes me nervous because when you're only around one culture, you know, you tend to be extremely nervous when you're encountered with diversity. So when you have an open mind, you're able to be more diverse. And that's important. That's very important, okay? Because when you're able to accept diversity and you know, accept it into your life and make it a part of your life, and when you're able to celebrate it, that's when interacting with people becomes a little bit easier because you're able to tolerate more stuff. You know what I mean? Like, for example, when I was growing up, I was like a raging hipster, okay? I pretty much disliked anything that had nothing to do with, like, for me it was like punk rock music, let's see what else. And well, some of the stuff I liked was punk rock music and Dragon Ball and wrestling and stuff like that. And if someone didn't like or at least know about any of those three things, then, you know, they're automatically on my bad side. Or if someone was popular, I'd be like, oh, well, this is just a popular person who doesn't understand me anyways, so why should I even bother meeting them? You block off a lot of people when you don't have an open mind. Your sense of possibility is drastically reduced. So when you have an open mind, it becomes a lot easier to accept certain things. When you get away from social conditioning, you know, the ideals that are pretty much jammed into your brain when you're growing up. For example, the fact that you know, or the idea that, you know, if you're in college, then You shouldn't be in college if you're over 25. You should have a job, and you should have a wife and kids and a house and all that bullshit, and you should have the American dream. You know what I mean? Well, I mean, when I started college back up when I was 25. Why? Because I saw lots of reference experiences that it was okay to be in college after the age of 25. You know? I saw that when I was in community college. I saw people in their 30s, 40s, you know what I mean, mid-20s. Someone who was 25 who was a college student, and I didn't even think they were a college student. I mean, I didn't think they were over 25. I just thought they were another college student who went to high school with me, who went to high school around the same time I did. And so I'm like, wait a minute, if they're normal people, then why should I even have that idea that college is only relegated for people who are under 25 or 18 to 25? You know what I mean? So that's another important thing. If you don't have those reference experiences, it's going to be a lot harder for anybody, really. So, yeah. Wow, there's a lot of damn traffic. I can't even cross the goddamn street. Holy shit. Now I don't mean do stupid stuff. Like, for example, if I were to cross the street right now, that would not be good because there's lots of cars and they're trying to get somewhere, and, you know, why should I be making other cars stop for me? But I can break the rules. As you can see, they have a green light, and cross the street because I know that car is not going to come at me for some time. That's what I mean by having an open mind. Hold on a second, guys. Let's go. Sorry, just passing through. That's exactly what I mean. Rules of the road. There was a green light, and I should have waited, but since I knew there was no vehicles coming, and I knew that if they were to speed up, that I should speed up, I was able to bend the rules. And that's what having an open mind is. It's bending the rules of social conditioning, okay? It's just like, so what if you're 30 and you're trying to finish college? So what? Who cares? And if anyone does care about it, then let me tell you, those are the kind of people who you do not deserve in your life, because they're going to know nothing more than what they've been socially conditioned to believe. This is how I was raised too. My dad was like, okay, you're going to graduate college, you're going to get a job, you're going to get a wife. It was very similar to Tyler Durden in Fight Club when he said, oh, I want to fight my dad, because he was like, oh, you know, it was the same thing, you know what I mean? So, I'm not saying I wanted to fight my dad, but whatever. All I was saying was that he was pretty much highly subscribed to the ideals of social conditioning. And it's like I'm saying, it doesn't mean that you should be against any and all social conditioning. You shouldn't be judging people because they are socially conditioned. Instead, you should accept diversity and accept social conditioning as part of being human. Which means if you come across some people who seem to be under the grasp of social conditioning, and they're just nice, friendly people who, you know, don't judge, and if they have an open mind as well, then you know what? Why not meet them? Why not be their friend? Because maybe they're cool, maybe they're just socially conditioned because they don't want to stand out and they don't want to be left out. That's why a lot of people are under the influence of social conditioning. It's because they don't want to feel left out. But you don't have to be that way either. You can both resist social conditioning and accept it. And when you do that, that's when you develop an open mind. And that's when you start becoming a worldly, diverse person. All right. So I hope you enjoyed this part here. So this is part one of theory of the Great Socialization. All right, I'll include some notes and stuff in the video description and so on and so forth. All right, next video I'm gonna do is about how to. This is a how-to thing. It'll be about breaking the ice with people. All right, I'm out of here. Peace. Keep being awesome.